Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy killed 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock.
Napa know-how.
Get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for just $26.48. They're like the only couple you don't mind inviting over. They help you with your car, they save you money, and they never display their affection publicly. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for $26.48. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Tap the banner to learn more about Napa. General States pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 4/30/21.
Yesterday, Justice Clarence Thomas, really the only conservative on the Supreme Court, someone who has more guts than the other justices. Of course, that's not saying much, but I do like Thomas. And that's characteristic of African-American conservatives. They have more guts than white conservatives these days, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But he issued a decision, a concurring decision in a case that involved Donald Trump, a really stupid case that was brought by some leftist organization because Trump chose to exclude certain people from his Twitter page when he had a Twitter page before it was taken away. And that leftist organization filed suit claiming that that was a violation because that was a public forum that he was discriminating against the left. Now, at the same time that this case came up in front of the Supreme Court, the case that I brought for Freedom Watch, for Laura Loomer, and for me, against all the big tech companies, Google, Twitter, Instagram, Apple, you name it, an antitrust lawsuit, as well as a suit under District of Columbia law, which says that it is illegal to discriminate in a public forum based on political ideology and belief. That was in front of the Supreme Court, too. That case had been dismissed years ago by a hack Trump-appointed judge, Trevor McFadden. That dismissal was rubber-stamped by the leftist D.C. Circuit. Of course, they like the discrimination because it favors the left right now. It's conservatives that are being booted off of social media platforms. It went up to the Supreme Court. And what is very interesting and telling is on 5 occasions when the Supreme Court was to decide whether to accept the case, that's called a petition for writ of certiorari. That's what we filed. It postponed its decision. And I knew something was happening behind the scenes because I've never seen that happen before. So yesterday, Thomas issued a concurring opinion in the case involving Donald Trump, but he made reference to the case that Laura Loomer, Freedom Watch, and I had brought with regard to the antitrust violations of these big tech companies by restraining trade and monopolization by excluding yours truly, Laura Loomer, and Freedom Watch from their platforms in one manner, shape, or form. Very important decision. Now, Thomas, while dismissing with the rest of the judges the Trump case, copying out because they said, oh, he's no longer president anymore, so it's moot, wrote a long concurring decision. You can find it on our website at freedomwatchusa.org, where he admits and in fact advocates for some regulation of the big tech to make sure that they don't discriminate. He says they're like common carriers. And he references the AT&T case that when I was a young lawyer at the Justice Department, I helped break up. I was on the trial team that broke up the monopoly of AT&T, creating competition in the telecommunications industry. He says, well, it's up to regulate that. Well, that's not going to happen because the Democrats are in complete control of government and they like what's going on right now. The states, however, can. They can step in. Florida's doing it. We're working with the governor there, DeSantis. When there are honest people out there trying to do something, and I believe that DeSantis may be the one person out there that has any degree of guts at all. Even the governor of Texas, he's gutless, big mouth, but it talks about what's going on at the border, but he could send the Texas Rangers down there and the National Guard and take care of business. To hell with the federal government. If they're not protecting the people of Texas, he can step in. But DeSantis, let's give him a chance. Let's see what he's going to do. Still, the Republican Party's dead. I'm starting a new party under a separate organization called the New American Independence Party. And we're having our third Continental Congress in Philadelphia. It's firming up for Memorial Day weekend of this year in Philadelphia, right across from Independence Hall. We're going to form a new government. We're going to reenact the Constitution with certain changes, taking immunity, making it clear that judges and public officials don't have immunity for their actions, and also putting into the Constitution discrimination on the basis of political ideology and belief, and a number of other changes that are necessary, because right now the Constitution doesn't include these things, but it's also not being adhered to or respected. But I want you to read Thomas's decision, because we obviously did influence his thinking. He makes reference to it. He makes reference to the AT&T case that I participated in. Now, yesterday, I also sent out a column after I did the podcast. It was called Biden-Harris and the Fourth Reich. We see what's going on right now. You can read that at freedomwatchusa.org as well. Every aspect of American society is now being controlled by the left, by Biden and Harris. And you've got corporations like Coca-Cola and Delta now supporting moving the All-Star game from Atlanta to, apparently it's going to be in Colorado at the Colorado Rocky Stadium. White people are the new Jews. They're being used as the scapegoats, the whipping boys and girls of the radical left, sowing racial division, more showing racial hatred among the races. And the reality is that most Black people are good and most white people are good. But this is what's going on in this country, a cynical use of this race card. And we see that the left has taken control of every institution in this country, whether it's in the courts, whether it's in bar associations. I've talked about that, like DC, a vile bar association run by ultra leftists. They have no ethics at all. They're unethical, but they gave themselves immunity illegally, so they think they can do whatever they want, trying to remove lawyers like me and Bill Barr and Kellyanne Conway and Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and Rudy Giuliani, you name it. We have to rise up. We have to fight a peaceful and legal revolution. And that's why this Thursday we can reconvene our citizens' grand jury at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and we will be obtaining indictments of Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and Joe Biden's brother, James. There'll be other Bidens indicted too in the future, as well as other corrupt politicians, including Mitch McConnell, who also took money under the table from the communist Chinese, laundered to his wife, Elaine Chao. No coincidence that Chao jumped ship when things got rough for Trump on January 6th, and he was accused of something that he didn't do, inciting violence. This is where we are today. The country is under complete control. It's why I wrote my book, It Takes a Revolution. Occasionally, we break through, such as with Justice Thomas, but even Justice Thomas's decision is of no force and effect. Even he is powerless to change things. So this is where we are. We must rise up. I want you to get my book, It Takes a Revolution. I want you to watch our Citizens Grand Juries. It's live stream at freedomwatchusa.org. Also, you can find it at crowdsourcethetruth.com. We, the American people, it's time to wage a counter-revolution against the radical left and to restore this country to the vision of our founding fathers. That's my message for today, as it is my message every day. We cannot be afraid. We cannot be in complacent retirement, as I wrote in my column yesterday that you can find at freedomwatchusa.org. Go read that. Go buy my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry, at barnesandnoble.com, every major bookseller. Also at Freedom Watch, with a contribution of $50 or more, we'll send it to you for free. God bless you. God bless America. Remember that the Father and the Son helps those that help themselves. Now is the time to try men's souls. Now is not the time for summer soldiers and sunshine patriots, as Thomas Paine said. Like our founding fathers, we must take risks. We must not be afraid. We must not simply watch Sean Hannity on Fox News and think that we're doing our part. In fact, that's a disservice, because what you get on Fox News is misinformation primarily. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, stay safe. Thank you for listening to me.
Get started for free on IBM Cloud. With an IBM Cloud Lite account, you can access a catalog of more than 40 always free services with no credit card required. Your account never expires, and there are no time limits, so you can experiment with some of our most popular offerings for as long as you'd like. Explore our free tier and create your account today at ibm.biz/cloudfree.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Whatever you're funny, Peacock's got it exclusively. Bears beats The Office on Peacock. Stream every moment from Dunder Mifflin and explore bonus extras and exclusives. Plus, if you're looking for more classic hits, you can stream every episode of Parks and Recreation, 2.5 Men, and every season of SNL. In the mood for something brand new? Check out Peacock's original comedies, The Amber Ruffin Show, and Saved by the Bell. Whether you're craving a new binge or familiar fave, you can find tons of comedy hits on Peacock. Get started for free at peacocktv.com.